And today, in our New Year, New Job, New Outlook video, we are going to speak with expert Diane Huth, the accidental career coach on building your social media brand. She is a marketing guru, university professor, and author of 2 best-selling career guides, Brand You to Land Your Dream Job, written to teach her young students and young professionals how to find a great job, get hired, and jumpstart their careers. And her second book, Reinvent Your Career, Beat Age Discrimination to Land Your Dream Job, for baby boomers facing an unemployment crisis. Diane hosts an online course, Create Your Powerful Above the Fold Resume, and is a frequent guest on radio shows and podcasts. Diane, thank you so much for being here and welcome to the summit.
Well, thank you so much, Lana. I'm just thrilled to be here with you, and thank you so much for including me in this very special event.
Awesome. Yes, we cannot wait to get into what we're going to talk about. But before we do, let me just ask you, what prompted you to write your book, Brand You to Land Your Dream Job?
Well, I've worked in branding and marketing forever. I'm really a marketing professional. And about 5 or 6 years ago, I started teaching marketing at 2 universities in the evenings at night school part-time. And I discovered that my bright, talented students who had just paid a fortune to get their degree didn't have a clue on how to get a job. I mean, they didn't have resumes, they didn't have LinkedIn pages, they had no idea. So when I discovered this, I went home and I spent an entire week preparing a presentation, which grew up to be a seminar, which grew up to be a webinar, which grew up to be a book, on how to use the branding and marketing skills that I was teaching them in marketing classes to market themselves. And that's how I got here.
Well, that's awesome. And thank you for recognizing that, because you're right. You know, in college, there are no classes on how to apply to a job, how to interview, and I think it's something that when you graduate from college, it kind of hits you in the face, right? Like no one tells you this is the kind of stuff you need to know. So yeah, that's so awesome and inspiring that you recognize that need. So you called yourself an accidental career coach, and that's how I introduced you. Can you explain this a little?
Well, I didn't intend to be here. It's just I'm a marketer, and I ended up here helping people because of my book and talking to people. So I just ended up here by accident, and this is where I'm able to help people today. I still do marketing. I do marketing consulting. I do brand development, but I have this whole part of my business in helping people find their dream jobs because they changed the rules a few years ago and they didn't tell anybody. Right. And I've got to get that message out, because otherwise the frustration of applying for a job again and again and again and not knowing what you're doing wrong is just terrible on people's egos and their economy. They have got to make money, and if they can't find the job, it's really devastating. So that's my gift to people, is to really help them understand this very complicated new system that's kind of a secret algorithm.
So let's get into that then. You believe that there are 8 significant steps to having success in a career search. The first you mentioned is establishing and mastering a social media presence. Can you talk about what this means and its importance in finding a job these days?
Yeah, today everything is digital and online. And you have control over some of it, the proactive things that you do, but there are things you can't control, because often if you appear in Google, you can't affect what they do. They have the photos that they have news articles, they have things that they pick up. And so you are stuck with this digital footprint that you have for your entire career. I have articles and things that I did going back to 2006, which are still on Google. If you Google me, we're down on like page 7 or 8, there's things back from 2008. Right. So your digital presence is perpetual. You can't change it or affect it. You can't get rid of negative things. And everything is digital today. The first thing that any job recruiter is going to do is they're going to look at your LinkedIn page. Yep. And it's a perpetual work portfolio. The second thing they're going to do is they're going to look at your Facebook page. There are actually career algorithms and companies that specialize in searching all of your social media profiles to see if they can come up with negative things, and they report that confidentially back to the company. So your digital presence is your brand, and you need to proactively take care of it. by managing, being very conscientious of what you do, making sure you don't do negative posts, making sure you stay away from profanity and extreme political views, and making sure that you don't do things while you're on spring break that's going to haunt you forever with that picture and with posts, because that's searchable forever.
Right.
And there are many people who have lost jobs even after being hired, and before being hired, they're just not in consideration because of your social presence. And you also need to be proactively communicating who you are. A great deal of your personal brand is what you showcase online. And it's a balance between who you are in person in the workplace, as well as who you are in video or in online, and how you present yourself. So you must have integrity, you must have authenticity, but you also must be very responsible, professional, and express your career interests, your passions, your integrity, your dedication to others. All that's going to come through with a very transparent social media presence. So it's out there. Employers are going to find it. Make sure you manage it to your best interest, so it doesn't prevent you from really reaching your life goals and your dreams.
Yeah, that's super important. So you kind of mentioned this already, so I'm going to dig a little deeper in it, on that point that you made. So social media brands and, maintaining that image that you've set up online, right? So yeah, let's get rid of the negatives and let's put out all these positive things. Does that differ from how you show up on your day-to-day job?
They should be authentic and the same. Who you are is going to be apparent to your coworkers. And so you have to be authentically honest and express the same characteristics at work that you do online, because otherwise there will be a lack of synchronicity. It won't work. People will know, and dishonesty is worse than having a strong opinion that some people may not like. You need to be authentic and honest in all of your dealings with people, at work, in your private life, and online.
Right.
Integrity is really important.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. So for the audience, just keep that in mind when you're putting out your new social media image, that it does need to match who you are in real life. You can't just put up all these great photos of yourself and then in that interview, you're not showing that personality, or on the actual job, you're not showing that personality. I think that's important. So when it comes to creating a brand on social media, you kind of mentioned these two as well, but maybe I want to dig so I can have the audience understand, which ones they really should focus on first and make them top priority. So which outlets on social media would you say are most important in building a professional brand?
Well, for employment and for building your brand, number one is going to be LinkedIn in terms of employment. 94% plus of recruiters and employers are going to look at your LinkedIn profile first. And here's an interesting statistic. When they review on the applicant tracking systems, where they review your resume, I've actually seen ones where they pull up your resume and they pull up your LinkedIn profile to see if they match, or if you have inconsistencies, or if they can catch you lying on dates or jobs. So it's very important that they match, because your digital footprint is out there forever. And you must be, like I say, authentic, honest, and consistent throughout all your platforms. So LinkedIn is number one. Facebook is very important. Each of the, I call them 5 or 6 key social media platforms serves a different purpose in your career. So LinkedIn is where you showcase your professional standing. Facebook is how you spend your time and energies. Volunteering for a nonprofit. How do you invest your time and energy? The next one is Twitter. It's very important. Journalists, people in marketing, authors, people who are expressing their opinions and who are creating a following with a message, they use Twitter to get their message out. So it's very important to be tracking what's happening, and you can engage with people, particularly if you want to do public relations, if you like an article to be published, you want to have a job, you can follow people and engage in their Twitter feed with meaningful information, following them, and they will get to know you. That can be very important. YouTube, to me, is very important. That a lot of people don't think about YouTube, and I'm not talking about creating your own channel, which you can. And there are a lot of YouTube millionaires out there, but they're 1 in a million. But you can follow companies on YouTube. And so let's say you want to get a job for Procter & Gamble working on the Pampers brand. You go and you like their YouTube channel on Pampers and on Procter & Gamble. And then if you subscribe to it, every time they post a new video, you'll get an email alert. So you can immediately go and watch that video. And then let's say you can engage with them both online and through email with a recruiter or somebody on LinkedIn or somebody to say, hey, I love that new campaign you did. I thought that was really great. I just saw that wonderful promotion. Congratulations. You can set up a dialogue with them based on what is important to them, which is what they're posting on YouTube. So not as much as what you post, but following others and then communicating with them, because they only put on YouTube what they think is important. They spend a lot of time making those videos, that comment, so you can engage with them. Pinterest can be important for certain things. There are companies who have built brands around Instagram. And so that's one thing that could be important. I know I was at a presentation where Garcia Crespo, which is the Mexican mineral water, all they use is Instagram because they're trying to communicate with fashion leaders and people who are very avant-garde and into activity. So they only use Instagram. But I think your big two for sure, number one, LinkedIn, and number two, Facebook, followed by YouTube, would be the places that I would concentrate.
Okay, good. So in terms of like, okay, we've established the brand, and for the audience, you know, I know you guys are gonna like start digging in and doing these things. So I want to prepare you guys for the next step, which is now applying to the jobs. So, you know, before we go, you've got something that you want to offer our audience. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I have a pre-gift for everybody. It's a cheat sheet on how to build your resume, because we talked about understanding the hiring funnel, understanding how it works, and what the 6 key sections of the new resume are that at least I recommend. And so it's a 2-page downloadable sheet, a cheat sheet, and it's real easy. Go to www.resumebuildercheatsheet.com. and you click on it and you can download my little cheat sheet that will show you a bunch of information on how to build today a powerful resume that I call it above the fold resume, because just like in marketing or branding, people buy newspapers for the front half of the top half of the front page. They don't sell newspapers because what's on the back page, that's what your resume needs to do. All the key stuff needs to be on above the fold. And so I teach people how to write an above the fold resume.
To the audience, definitely take advantage of this. You don't want to miss this. Again, it's at www.resumebuildercheatsheet.com. Diane has just been so gracious to offer that to you all. And then all of this advice that she's given, you all should be walking away like running, not walking, running to go fix all of this stuff, because I mean, there are definitely jobs out there that need people. And if it's just because you can't get your resume right or your interviewing's not right there yet, I mean, this session should be giving you that jump start. So Diane, thank you again so much for taking time out of your day to do this with me and answer these questions and just give such great information. I can't imagine this audience walking away and be like, oh, that was a waste of my time. I mean, to me, this is very valuable. So I want to thank you again for joining us today. It's just been such a pleasure to talk to you.
Well, thank you, Lana. I've enjoyed every second of it.
Good. And I also want to thank the audience for tuning in to the New Year, New Job, New Outlook Summit. Again, as you know, I'm your hostess, Lana Hill. And remember, the first step to getting your dream job is waking up and grabbing a hold of it. So join us for the next video where we get into